Well, hello and welcome to Sura Talks Wrestle. This is Wrestle Reviews, a show where we review today's episode of Saturday Morning SmackDown. Today's episode set itself up for a uphill battle as the Cody Rhodes and John Cena segment was announced to be the main event. Everything leading up to it had to deliver, but it seemed at the end of the day that everything kind of fell flat. The entire episode felt very flat, very underwhelming. Apart from maybe a couple of matches which are honestly really good, the entire episode, the start and the middle were mid, and the ending can be classified as bad. Let's dive a little deeper with our first segment on the show, the short recap, providing a concise gist of the happenings of today's episode, co-powered by Real American Rifles brother. Her makes her homecoming to Knoxville, Tennessee, but the celebrations get interrupted by Naomi. She tries to make amends with Bianca Belair, but the things turn really awkward as she admits to creepily sneaking into Bianca Belair's or her parents' house. She then drops this incredible insult, telling Bianca Belair that it would be really unfortunate if she and her mother both were ridden in wheelchair. As they're about to square up, Jade Cargill makes an appearance and she beats Naomi's ass. But then Nia Jax makes her entrance, thus transitioning into the first match of our episode, Naomi vs Jade Cargill vs Nia Jax. The match started off really disappointing, and even the crowd was not up for it. But surely things get better as they execute their rally moves, their roll-ups, their false finishes, and all in all, the match turns out to be okay, but overall it was an underwhelming start to the episode. Next up, JC Mateo absolutely squashes R-Truth in a match that was set up by a funny confrontation backstage earlier in the episode, R-Truth calling JC Mateo's solo son that he had never met. The match kinda similar to the Saturday Night's main event match with Cena. The only offense that R-Truth got to have in this match was the Cena rally moves. Thing I liked about this match was that it showed R-Truth's weakness. It was realistic. There were many failed attempts at suplexes, and the weight of JC Mateo was just too much for him, and he ended up literally pummeling under the weight of JC Mateo. After the match, Jimmy Uso interferes to save R-Truth from any post-match shenanigans. JC retaliates with Jimmy Uso, but Solo stops JC from hitting Jimmy Uso. So we can consider the story that they're trying to say is that Solo is still trying to recruit Jimmy Uso into the new bloodline, but even that wasn't done as well as I hoped it would have been executed. So yeah, again, good, short, I could say not bad segment to the show. Next up, we have the Street Profits cutting an energetic promo, but they get interrupted by Faxium, who then get interrupted by Motor City Machine Guns, and then they get interrupted by DIY. Sabin tells Candice to shut up. Ciampa holds a minute's silence for the tag team division. But then suddenly, the lights go out, and when they come back, the Wild Six are there, and they clean the house up. Sister Abigail to Nathan Fraser. By the way, a brilliant sell by Nathan Fraser, and they do their signature pose. The entire segment felt really rushed, especially the White Six. They did the same thing that they did in the last episode, minus the tribute to Bray Wyatt, obviously. They didn't give any definitive answer what their intentions were. Obviously, they can't tell that in a normal way like the other wrestlers do, but we were expecting a bit more. But we do get more because further in the show, the broadcast gets glitched and then gets interrupted in their typical White Six manner, and then there was Uncle Howdy. He just says the words, "They'll be back." Next up was tag team match, Javon Evans from NXT teaming up with Rey Fenix versus Los Garza, Angel Gomez and Berto. And when this match was announced in the episode earlier, I was really excited, and it played up to it. First, the match started with Rey Fenix and Berto sparring against each other. That transitioned into Javon Evans versus Angel Gomez. But then Javon Evans starts taking a lot of beating from Angel Gomez, which is understandable as he's the newbie on SmackDown. But then he slowly makes a comeback. One thing I forgot to mention, Ethan Page was in the Brilliant today, and he was in the commentary, and I was proved right as on two separate occasions Ethan Page interferes, Javon Evans to get pinned. So all in all, a good match. Next we move to the not so exciting women's United States Championship scene as Zelina Vega is up against Alba Fire from the Secret Service representing Chelsea Green. Zelina Vega wins this match by a code red. despite of the interferences from Chelsea Green and Piper Nevin. Zelina Vega still feels like an underdog champion. They're not really doing a good job making her a dominant champion. She wins matches, but the overall circumstances around it make us feel like she is just a underdog champion and will surely get dethroned by a more suitable competitor. And that's what they tease ultimately, because Julia eyes up Zelina Vega backstage and she tells her that she will be coming for the US Championship next. Julia was also in the Money in the Bank, so things a bit interesting there. Other interesting thing I can really think about this match was that Little Nate, Charles Robinson, was the referee of the game, and it's just so nice to see Little Nate still working about being a competent referee at such a huge age of I think he's 100 or 120 years old, I think. Next up we have a Damian Priest promo. He shits on Drew McIntyre and says that he's eyeing up Jacob Fatu and his US Championship. That's it. That is really it. Next up we have our qualifier for the Money in the Bank. Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade versus Jacob Fatu. Before the match there seemed to be a miscommunication, kind of a confusion between Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. Speaking of the match, it's a reunion for Andrade and Carmelo Hayes, and they run their classics back with their classic spots from their classic feud, which didn't end really well, classically. At the end of the day, unfortunately for Jacob Fatu, it's Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo who cost him the match, as due to their distraction, Andrade takes advantage of the situation, shoving Jacob Fatu out of the game and pinning Carmelo Hayes and booking his place in the Money in the Bank This is an interesting thing for Andrade. I didn't expect him to win, but it's good to see that he'll be in the Money in the Bank. I'm sure he'll have some entertaining spots in the Money in the Bank. Happy for him. And then comes the main event of today's show, which was a promo segment. Yes, a promo segment main evented SmackDown today. And it was the return of Cody Rhodes, my favorite Cody Rhodes, after a long time, after WrestleMania. And Cody cuts a really good promo. Maybe the best thing about this main event, he says that after the match, after his match, he needed to take a rest. He was thinking about a lot of things. He was thinking about the final boss and the offer that he made. He was thinking about John Cena and how he's gonna be ruining wrestling. And the crowd responds with "Let's go Cena! Cena sucks" chants. There was a great line. He says that he hesitated in the WrestleMania main event, but he will not be hesitating again when he meets John Cena in the future, possibly for the title. Then he introduces Jey Uso. Jey Uso makes his way and he eats with the crowd. He does it once again, and eating. I personally don't have a problem with the eating. And then quickly John Cena follows it up with his entrance, and then he starts talking trash to both Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, and he then starts bigging up Logan Paul as if he is buddies with him for so many years. He bigs up his abilities in the ring, and he says that if there's someone who has the same template as himself, it's Logan Paul, and he is the next big thing. And then they just start glazing each other. The entire segment was very awkward because it just didn't seem natural to me, just so underwhelming. I mean, till Cody's solo promo about all the things that he's been doing after Mania and what he's gonna do after it, go after Cena, that all seemed really interesting to me. But just after that, it's just off the rails. It's just so stupid. Jey Uso didn't get to say anything. Listening to others speak was just twitch. The dude just keeps twitching and as if he's gonna have a seizure. I mean, he kind of reminds me of Gopes from FIR. And then Cena glazing up Logan Paul glazing up Cena, which I think was good because that's in his character. I mean, that's what Logan Paul does. He always sticks up, he always glazes the ones he thinks are superior and he can get benefits from. But just the entire segment, and then towards the end, Cody drops a funny line where it says has Logan Paul in relation to John Cena, that what are you gonna do? You're gonna polish his peacemaker? That was a bit funny. But even after that, the brawl, and What an underwhelming end to the episode. An episode which was already very mid has a very disappointing ending, which makes the entire episode a really disappointing. Let's move to my favorite segment of the show, El Momento Memorable, discussing the memorable spots from today's episode, co-powered by La Gente Juave. First half, we have these two unique moves from the tag team, Javana and Ray Phoenix versus Los Garza, and because they are so unique, I mean, it's something new to the eyes. It's always gonna be a contender for El Momento, and there was this series of Next up, we have a moment from the Andrade, Jacob Fatu and Carmelo Hayes match. Jacob Fatu looks to spear both Andrade and Carmelo Hayes through the barricade, but they both move, and it's just Jacob Fatu, pure contact, pure destructive force going into the barricade and just destroying the barricade, and then possibly injuring himself and possibly bringing the second barricade. And then towards the end of the match, there was a double pin. There was a crucifix roll-up by Carmelo Hayes, which then Andrade also does his own roll-up pin. It begs the question if in a situation a 3 count is achieved, who would have got to win. So that's it for today, my wrestling bandhus. See you in the next episode of Wrestle Reviews. Till then, like, share, comment, subscribe if you feel like. Take care and peace.